All right, let's talk about movies.
Houston, we have a problem.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Thanksgiving. It's a beautiful time of year for friends and family and traveling. Most people in this country, they hop from point A to point B, and it's kind of a nightmare this time of year. So how do we deal with that unwanted stress of having to go see family and having to deal with the traffic on the way to it? Well, we watch a holiday classic. The only Thanksgiving holiday classic I can even think of, and it's pretty great. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. In 1987, John Hughes released this awesome film starring John Candy and Steve Martin, and it is one of the best buddy comedies of all time. But it's also one of the most heartfelt films I've probably ever seen. John Hughes is a brilliant writer and director. He's such a brilliant writer that sometimes when a film is made and he wrote it, it still feels like he directed it because his characters and his storytelling is so rich that it comes through when it's even being shot with someone else's lens. Case in point, a film like Home Alone still has so many hallmarks that are John Hughes. Don't worry, we'll get to Home Alone next month when it's Christmas time, but right now it's Thanksgiving, so be thankful we're talking about this movie. In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Steve Martin's character, Neil Page, ends up having some issues getting home to his family for Thanksgiving. Along the way, he ends up running into John Candy's character, Del Griffith, who is one of the most obnoxious people you would ever meet at first sight. Along the way, Del inexplicably and unknowingly completely messes up Neil's plans, and it's a disaster. It's not entirely clear who's in the right and who's in the wrong the entire time while you're watching this movie, but that's part of the fun of it. There's a scene later in the film where Neil kind of goes off on an airport employee, and she handles it so well.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, what?
You're
That is just... Don't piss people off that work in an airport. Just don't do it. But we're not talking about that scene. I want to talk about a scene that really showcases John Hughes as both writer and director, and how he's able to take a moment that just seems like it's comedic gold. He's able to take this time in the film that just seems like it's here to amplify how annoying Del can be and how short-tempered Neil can be. And he builds it to a climax that is one of the most touching scenes ever put to celluloid. I'm not kidding. This scene is beautiful. And it's a real turning point in the film, and things still go wrong. There's still a lot of runtime to go, but this moment, it's major. In this scene, Neil and Del are sharing a hotel room and sharing a bed because something went wrong in the booking. Earlier on, Neil had to pay for the hotel. And, well, that's not sitting well with him. So as we start this scene, Del he's spilled beer in the bed because it was a vibrating bed and he didn't know any better.
I had no idea those beer cans were gonna blow like that.
You left him on a vibrating bed. What did you think was going to happen?
It's been a long day. It just didn't occur to me.
These are the kind of things that Del does throughout the film. He doesn't mean to be a disruption. He doesn't mean to annoy anyone. He just does it. It's in his nature. It's just something that just keeps happening. As we follow this scene and they're trying to go to sleep, we're experiencing everything that Neil's experiencing. The annoyance of him trying to clear his sinuses. Every moment here is designed to annoy his viewer, and a brilliant move that John Hughes makes is he cross-cuts from Neil and Del in bed to Neil's wife back at home, alone in bed, waiting for him. He's reminding us what's at stake here. He's reminding us that Neil has a mission, and he has this goal to be home for his family for Thanksgiving, and yet here he is, stuck in bed with who might be the most annoying man in the world, in his opinion. And you can understand how the scene's gonna build from here because of this crosscut. You understand that in his mind, all he wants is to be home with his wife, yet he's stuck here with Dell. Eventually the scene breaks and Neil has enough. He's done. And he goes off on what is amazingly done by Steve Martin. He goes off on a huge rant, one of several Neil has in the film.
Oh, here's a gun so you can blow your brains out. You'll thank me for it.
And as a viewer, you're waiting for it to shift. You're waiting for the comedy to come in. You're waiting for Dell to just be a doofus, to be completely oblivious and just make us laugh in the moment. I mean, Steve Martin is bringing his all. He's doing this for the string pull and all that. And as viewers, we really are just waiting for the laugh. Because that's what this is. It's a comedy. And for all intents and purposes, in a comedy like this, you have the straight man, here being portrayed by Steve Martin, and then you have the funny guy, who is definitely John Candy so far. He's the guy that just keeps causing all these shenanigans that allow the film to keep getting wacky and weird and go completely off the rails. But John Hughes does something great here. Something that is so memorable, and it's one of those things that makes you wish you had more John Candy, because the guy was brilliant. He was brilliant not just at comedy, but at putting his emotions on display. And we'd see this in other films. I think he has an extremely underrated performance in a film like Cool Runnings, which his character is completely fictionalized in a story that is supposed to be based on real events, but somehow he brings a lot of heart to that. So right here, John Candy unloads all those acting chops, all that drama, all that emotion. And right here is when we learn how much we love Dell. This speech about how much people like him and how much he likes himself, it's huge. And in a world now where we have a lot more focus on mental health, this speech is huge. This is a huge thing. We don't always realize that we're being unlikable or that we're doing things that are upsetting or annoying other people. But it's important that we realize that there are people that appreciate who we are and that we appreciate who we are. This moment plays out so beautifully.
I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
And you can see it in the direction and the performances, the way that Steve Martin as Neil reacts. There's such shame in his face that he knows he shouldn't have done this. Because this man, he's a nice man. He only means well. Maybe he shouldn't have yelled at him like that. Maybe he shouldn't have insulted him so much. And the scene continues on. Dell has said his piece, and there's nothing but silence. He crawls back in bed, and Neil decides to do the same, and there's a tiny chuckle as they both just decide to go to sleep. Now, there's still a lot of movie left, but this moment really exemplifies the brilliance of this film. It has these great comedic elements, but it also has this immense heart. And it's something John Hughes has done so well in all of his films. There's so many moments that he's created. But this one moment in this brilliant holiday film that, like I said, it's one of the only films you can watch at Thanksgiving that really, it's a home run. This moment showcases how you subvert a genre and how you create something that not only will make people laugh, but feel and say something. Maybe you learn something from it. Maybe when you're traveling on the holidays, you'll run into someone that is not exactly the best person to be traveling with, but you'll think to yourself, what if he's like Dell? What if there's pain in his life that you don't know about? Later on in the film, we do discover that Dell is in pain. He lost his wife and he's been on the road almost ever since. And it's one of those things that Neil discovers, and this film is all about them building a friendship and about welcoming a stranger into your family after going on a wacky adventure. But this scene is a masterclass in how to write, and John Hughes is a master, so we should have expected nothing else. But those are my thoughts on this scene and really Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as a whole. It is Such a good film, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But please, give me your thoughts about it. I'd love to hear what you think about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, this scene, any other scenes in the film. Maybe this one where Neil just decides to go off on the receptionist at the airport.
I want a car right now.
May I see your rental agreement?
I threw it away.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, what?
You're
Whew, lots of cursing. I might have just gotten demonetized. Anyway, have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm Alex, and I'm glad you stopped by to talk movies with me. Please like, subscribe, click that notification. I'm a new channel, so any support you have is always welcome. Till next time.